I'm Prakhar and I'm doing my dual degree in mechanical engineering at Kharagpur.
Hi, Prakhar. I'm okay. So, Prakhar, what is the job that you got selected for? What's the job description?
So I basically got selected for equity research at JPMorgan. So my job basically requires me to basically research different sectors. So suppose if a client approaches JPMorgan that they want to do a research in suppose energy sector. So what our role will be as a junior analyst that we'll for the first few months or so we'll analyze how the market functions, how certain things if changed affect the whole market overall, and then we'll have to prepare a report on the industry and then we'll give that report to the client. So one major part of our job is also to be like presentable and to write reports in a good format and write elegantly.
Okay. So, and what was the interview procedure that led up to this selection?
So my interview procedure was first there was a resume shortlist. So from the resume shortlist 120 people were shortlisted, and after that we had a written test. So in written test we were asked about two questions, and the two questions were why finance and one was a general issue in India. Like in our case there were two questions, we had an option to solve among two questions. The first one was what is the importance of digitization in India, and the second one I don't actually remember because
Both essay type questions.
yeah, both are essay type questions, and we had to write both the questions in 30 minutes in one page of A4
Okay.
size. And after that, a shortlist of 22 people came, and for that we had an interview yesterday. So basically, the interviews were two round, and the only people who got the second interview were the ones who did good in their first interviews.
Okay. So, what were these two rounds? Was there a dedicated HR round?
Yeah, there were two rounds basically. First one was technical and second one was HR, but it was not in that particular order. Like so, it can be the case that you got the HR round first and I got technical round first.
Okay, so what kind of things did they ask you first in the technical round?
In the technical round, they'll basically ask you from your resume. First thing they mainly focus on was CFA, whether you're given CFA or not. And I'm the only candidate among the other three, I think, which have not given CFA. So I had to convince them a lot that I'll be a good candidate for them instead of having a CFA. This was the first question they asked.
So you would, for anybody who would want a job like this, you would strongly advise taking the CFA because
yeah, if they want to go into some finance job, it will be very better if they have a CFA or an FRM because companies very value that certification very much.
Okay, that is good information. So what about the HR round? What happened?
Yeah, actually HR round. I think my HR round was the best, and that is why I got selected. I'll like to point out a few important things about the HR round, with how you should like what are the basic questions you should know about a company if you want to if you are setting for HR round. So the first question is why do you want to sit for this company? As in for my case, why JPMorgan? And then what do you know about the profile? You should know. You should be able to explain about the profile for around 10 minutes. Because that is what he asked me to tell. And apart from that, some general HR questions like where do you see yourself in 5 years, where do you see yourself in 10 years, and one good question there for me was apart from technical skills, what major skills are you looking to develop in these 5 years, and some other questions are like are you planning to do an MBA and other things.
So do you think during the course of this both these interviews, there was like one single instant that changed your interview more than any other instance in the entire interview process? Some instant that clicked, or was it a gradual work up to?
Yeah, I think my interview, I did not at any time feel that my interview was going bad, and I did not basically stop at any point. So I will not say that I had a single inflection point.
Okay.
But I'll say that one point where I think I aced was when he asked me to ask him some questions, and that went around for 15 minutes. So I'll advise every person who is sitting for these finance companies and all.
So what kind of questions are these that you want?
Yeah, I asked basically what is the profile. I actually wanted to understand more about the profile.
Okay.
And so they had written some things, some few keywords in their profile, like they'll allow us to manage our products independently, and then our profile will be divided into two or three equal parts of reporting, researching, and presentation. So I asked him more about that, and then I asked him about what is the importance of CFA, then what kind of industrial exposure we get. So I think these played a very important role in that.
Okay, so you think banking is supposed to be and just for fun's sake, did you have a Quora moment in your interview? Something that you'd write and code up for a funny answer.
No, I don't think.
Not really. Very okay. Yeah. So the first day can be a lot of pressure on you because you keep getting rejected of
Yeah,
interviews,
actually,
right?
I was selected for 4 companies, 4 profiles basically, and the first 3 I did bad. So I was basically very nervous in the
So what do you think? What do you think messed up in those interviews?
I think in the first 2 interviews I was a little like I was not prepared that much, and I would not say exactly what went wrong, but they were trying to tell me that you can go for a mechanical job, and I was not able to basically convince them
Okay.
that I want to join a finance job.
Okay, so they were all finance profiles,
Yeah.
the first 4, and you weren't just able to convince them that
Yeah, in the first
finance
two
is what
interviews.
you want to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, and you successfully managed to do that in your third. So how do you think? Did you manage to keep your nerves when you were constantly getting rejected? Do you think there is any particular thing that you did?
Yeah, I think the most important thing is you should keep yourself calm, because after getting rejected in 3 interviews, I think I basically had nothing to lose. So I was just sitting in the interview for like I did not have any hope. So I gave the interview very peacefully. I said things very confidently, and whatever I didn't know in the interview, I just said, "Sir, I don't know. I'm still learning." So I think this is very important because you should not like lie in the interview, and yeah. So I think it's important.
And about the general preparation leading up to the interview, the nights before or months before the interview, do you think you have any specific instructions for people who want to prepare for finance?
Yeah, I'll tell you specifically for finance that the first most important thing is you should prepare your resume very well.
Okay.
You should spend a significant amount of time in that, because I spent a lot of time in that, and after a few days or weeks I was thinking that I have spent far too much time, but in the end everything paid off well.
So what are the things that you're looking for in this meticulous resume building activity?
So in this resume building, first of all you should make a draft of first of all you should make different resumes for different sectors you're applying for.
Okay.
Like for if you're applying for multiple companies like bank, finance, then consulting, then departmental. So you should prepare different resumes for these. Then after making a basic draft, you should get it reviewed from a lot of seniors, as much seniors as you can, and as much of your friends as you can, because it will give you a lot of mistakes. And once you spot out those mistakes, it will be a very much like an nourishing experience for you. And the one more point I'll say about the resume is resume like improves every time you look at it. So you should try to improve more about it. And also for someone who is sitting for finance, I'll tell them to include more numbers in the resume so that it looks attractive. And yeah, these are the few bits.
Okay, after resume building, is there anything else?
Yeah, after resume building, if you have done some courses or internships or anything which is related to finance, be thorough with it, because that is the only thing that they're going to ask you in the interview. Apart from that, they will not, in the first round at least, in the technical round, they will not ask you anything apart from your CV. They're just trying to test how well you have done the things you have done. So you should be thorough with that.
Okay. And that is the only preparation that...
No, plus apart from this, you should also prepare. You should very well prepare for the HR questions. That makes a lot of difference.
Okay, so is there any particular book or any particular document that you follow to prepare for these HR questions?
HR questions, I basically worked upon 3 or 4 HR questions, like why this company, why I want to job this.
You scripted the answers to these questions. You scripted the answers to these questions.
Yeah, so. And I think if you have a few friends with you, it will be very well. It will be very well because they'll help you frame the answer in a very good way. And I'd say that don't just make a very cliche answer. Make the answer specific to yourself.
Okay.
Like suppose you're going to answer, how did you get interested in this company? So don't just copy like this is one of the biggest firms and so I want to work for that and this and that. Make something personal, like I came to know about this company from here and that actually inspired my interest, and make it something personal so that it's different from everybody else.
Okay. So you want to stand out while answering those questions?
Yeah, obviously.
Alright.
Also, I would like to add one more point for anybody who is preparing for finance. For brushing up their finance skills, they can follow the Vault Guide to Finance. That actually has very good fundas.
Okay, that would be amazing. Is there any other thing that you want to say to somebody who would be preparing for next year?
I think one thing which helped me a lot was ambitionbox.com, that has a lot of funda for all the companies you are sitting for.
Oh,
So that will help you a lot in every interview.
that is some very good advice. Thank you for coming. Congratulations again on your placement.